Take us away, Caitlin. No, you have to like do an intro.
Oh, sorry. Hello and welcome back to the Wandering Gamer Network plays Mass Effect. I'm Caitlin.
And I'm Cody. So we assigned better weapons. I think we're in better shape now.
Yay. Cody the murder machine.
Yeah, probably not. This game really does not. I have 2 little shield notches now, so I can take some more hits, you know. And this time I know I got a winning strategy, which is just team, go all the way down there.
Yeah, you already established this works.
Yeah, right? Go get him, team.
Left and right. Nothing says romance like murdering your friends.
Yeah, I think that we psyched ourselves up too much on this. We were going to have a romance subplot happen, and what we just found out is it's not really going to happen.
Yeah.
This guy sucks. Oh, Lord. Oh,
worst.
Caitlin, why? I'm so bad at this game. You know, I have grenades.
Yeah, I thought you just didn't know how to use them.
I know how to use them, I just didn't.
Oh, okay. I thought you had just established that you didn't know how to throw stuff.
No, I don't know, but there's like a different thing that's like you can like levitate objects and huck them at guys.
Oh, what?
But
is that because we're a space wizard or just
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Nothing's explained well in this game. Oh, Caitlin, we're gonna spend all night getting on this stupid bridge.
I don't know if it would be better or worse with me in the driver's seat.
Oh, okay. No, you know what? No, you're.
No, I'm saying, like, honestly, I don't know if I would improve this.
I'm offended.
Why are you offended?
Because the implication is that I'm so bad. You actually think it couldn't get any worse? Oh no, we have to do the equipment loadout again.
No.
Okay, no, we're just gonna do the pistol. Yeah, we're just gonna switch our pistol, and we're gonna go to squad, and we're gonna give me better first aid, and we're gonna give me better throw, I guess. Okay, that's all we're doing. That's all we're doing. Sorry, y'all, that needed to get done, or we were gonna die again. No, frick! Shields down. Yes, I know the shields are down. Thank you.
What are the Geth like worm things?
Yeah, I don't really know. It's hard to tell because they just look so gross. But yeah, they're kind of like
gross.
Everyone just wears like the same kind of like leather skin suits, you know?
Yeah. So far though, they have. I'm trying to think of like other, like if I have a favorite alien, like space alien.
Ooh. I don't know.
Do you have a favorite space alien?
I don't actually know. Oh, Lord.
I don't know. I like 7 of 9 from the Borg. Since we were talking about Star Trek, I have it on the brain. But I don't know if there are a lot of other alien races working with humans. I mean, like Star Wars has just like everybody in costume or CGI, just like random. But I don't know how much. I haven't gotten super into Star Wars, so I don't know any specific.
You played an RPG in
I know,
Star
right?
Wars.
That's why I was bad at it.
I think you know more than most people do about Star Wars.
But yeah, I don't know that I know much about the races, I guess. No, I guess Twi'leks show up a lot.
Twi'leks do show up a lot.
And I've probably learned more about that from listening to other podcasts where they talk about their characters' alien races versus like actually doing any of my own research on it.
I don't know, like I think that my favorite aliens are the ones that are like not humans. Mm-hmm. So like in this game it's like, man, there's just like 30 different kinds of you're still just basically human. Mm-hmm. But like I've always really liked Alien from like it's the Xenomorphs, right? So actually, yeah, that's another good example of sci-fi that I love. Is the whole Alien franchise is just fantastic. Mm-hmm. But I really like Xenomorphs because they're not like weird robot worms are the Geth, I guess. But I like Xenomorphs just because they're so not familiar and not like understandable.
Yeah.
Because like Predator 2 is like one of those aliens that's kind of cool looking, but has human-ish motivations. I like the xenomorphs just because their motivation is really just kill people and nothing else, you know.
Do you feel the same way about the buggers in Ender's Game? Or less?
Well, they
so
had a
because-
motivation. We just, like, humans were just too dumb to understand it. Which, that's another one of those sci-fis that I got way into. But that was a little bit later. I don't know how old I was when I read Ender's Game.
Yeah, I was probably high school, I guess, when I read the first one.
I think I had to be high school.
And then I think I was like college or more when I read... Oh gosh, what is the sequel?
Speaker for the Dead.
Speaker
Have
for
you
the
finished,
Dead.
like, the whole series?
No, I just read those two.
Ooh, you should
I really
finish
like
it.
the Speaker for the Dead.
Xenocide is really long. It is bonkers long, but it's very good. It's definitely, like, those 4 books are some of my favorite. I just think that, like, in terms of... I think they explore something interesting with aliens and, like, the notion of understanding creatures that are different from us being, like, still... Like, there's an innate value in their life, even though they're not human and stuff like that. And I think the way it explains it and shows it is fascinating. Because, like, there's, in Speaker for the Dead, you know, there's the piggies, right? The Picaninos or whatever. And the humans' first interaction with them is they just like, well, we can't... Whoa!
What was that?
Well,
at least somebody's avenging your death.
You know, it was like prime directive, like, don't influence them, don't tell them anything about humanity. And I like that was like, no, you can't just, like...
You can't just not do that.
Let them kill us because they don't understand that it's bad, because you don't want to influence their culture. Like, we're here, we have to deal with the fact that we're living together, you know?
Yeah.
So I thought it was a more nuanced imagining of what alien relationships could be like.
Yeah. I always think of Speaker for the Dead in a pair with the book The Sparrow, which they're not related at all, but in my head I pair them because The Sparrow is about this group of people from Earth who intercept a recording of music that's coming from an alien world. And so because it's music, they're like, okay, they must be like this advanced civilization. They make contact, like, okay, we're gonna go out and meet them. And it's told like with flashbacks to how the mission started. Like, they have a Catholic priest with them, and with the goal of conversion, right? And then like scientists and how they all bond like on the way there and what happens when they get there. And there is some of that, like how you can't, like, you can think you understand another species, but just not be able to like truly comprehend what is going on, and how you think that you're doing the right thing, but you have effects that you can't imagine.
Yeah.
Sort of. And it's really, really good, but really sad. So I unfortunately was like finishing this book on vacation.
Oh, jeez.
And it was a couple years ago, but I was with my in-laws, and so I finished this book, and I was like, I kind of felt like crying. Like, it was really sad. Like, it was good how it ends, but like really terrible stuff happens. And so I finished my book, and you know, my in-laws were asking me like, "Oh, how's your book and stuff?" And I'm like, "Well, it was good, but I'm pretty like bummed right now. Like, I'm really sad. I'm not, you know, having a great like happy-go-lucky time. I kind of feel like crying." And they're like, "Oh, yeah, I've been there though. Nicholas Sparks books always make me cry." I was just like, I can't even talk about this right now. Like, it's on such different levels of tragedy, and I can't even have this conversation.
Well, and that's something that's like, it's hard to explain sometimes, like, because it's very personal, like when you get emotionally invested in a story like that.
Yeah.
And then for one thing, just when it ends in general. But yeah, usually like books like that aren't going to have just a sunshine ending, you know?
Right. And just like thinking about that, you know, if this were like a person that I knew and how I'd react to that. And like I've spent a decent amount of time with this character, and so I'm pretty invested in their well-being. And it's just not the same. Yeah. No offense, Nicholas Sparks fans, but no, like, it doesn't feel the same.
I love romance novels, and I don't like Nicholas Sparks very much.
Oh yeah.
I have tried, and I just can't get into it. You know, that's just one of those books I feel like I've always quit on. Is anything written by Nicholas Sparks, which, I mean, I really don't have any room to judge because I'll read total garbage. But like, honestly, one of the reasons why I started listening to romance novels as frequently as I did is that I just needed a palate cleanser from like
a really heavy.
Yeah, because you know, you get into certain kinds of fiction and it's just like, it like kind of, you know, you finish a book, you don't feel good, you're just like depressed because the story that you care about's over. And also, yeah, it's like the end was hard to, you know, the end was hard to hear, but you like had to finish it. It like reminds me of that thing. It's like from Lord of the Rings when Sam's talking about really good stories, how like you almost don't want them to finish telling the story because there's no way this like things can be happy again, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, it's kind of how it feels like when you're really invested in one of these books.
Yeah. I'm also really bad. This is kind of weird, but I'm really bad at remembering endings of books. Like when I finished them like years and years ago, I'm much more likely to remember like how I felt in the middle of it and what I found interesting about it. But I couldn't tell you like, oh, this happened at the end. Like they made this choice or whatever, which is kind of weird. But I'm just really bad with plot in general.
I'm bad at like knowing what's about to happen. Like there's some people that are like,
really?
oh, I guessed the end of this book, and I'm like, I never have any idea what's about to happen.
Oh, really? In the story. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know if it's intentional, like somewhat that I like try not to, because that kind of ruins the book for me.
Yeah, I find it harder to guess. Well, I don't know. I think when I watch movies, I'm less likely to guess what's happening because like I'm more distracted by what's going on right at that moment.
Yeah.
You know, whereas flashy. Like with a book, I'm putting it down and picking it up, and so I have a little bit more time to see things coming, I guess.
Yeah, right. It by its nature, you're being a little bit more cerebral while you're reading it.
Yeah.
Oh, this is something else. Like right now, like we're at this place and like just looking around, does anything stand like I did not realize over here is the beacon that I've been hunting for this whole time.
Nah.
But yeah, and I mean that even sometimes like, I don't know, romance novels are just a different thing, and like well-written ones can have like that same kind of problem where like you get to the end of it and it's hard to be like, but the story was so good. It's like, yeah, it's awkward to try to explain to people why you care about a book sometimes.
Yeah.
Something must have activated it.
Roger, Normandy.
Especially like if you're at work listening to a book, like I do a lot. And it's
I have had that, yeah, where I'm like listening to a book and like something really emotional is happening. I'm like, I'm not crying at work. I'm fine.
Yeah, I think the one that was kind of close to that for me was when I finished, this was a podcast, but when I finished Wolf 359.
Oh, yeah.
And I was just like sitting in a cubicle, just like, well, this feels weird now.
Yeah.
Like discussing.
I'm trying to think of what would have happened most recently to me with that. I don't know where I was when I was finishing up Taz Balance.
Taz
that
Balance
would have been
it was pretty, yeah.
Yeah. Wolf 359 is a good space thing that we've both
Wolf
to.
359 was great.
So I'd recommend that to everybody.
Oh, okay, here comes one of my favorite character models ever. Get ready for it.
I'm ready.
Just get ready. You're gonna know who I'm talking about. There it is! I love how the character introduction isn't even her face, it's just tits.
Butt. Well, it was butt
okay,
first,
yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
It is butt first, and then boobs up to face. Oh my gosh. Like, I'm just like sitting there looking at this character while this dialogue's happening, and I'm just like, why though?
Did he just like fling something that magically went around her? That's what it looked like.
Yeah, I don't know. They have a weird relationship, apparently.
Is she human? What is she?
I don't know, blue. She's a hot space blue lady. Saren's upset because I'm not dead. Which, I mean, if you wanted me dead, at least have the dignity to come down and fight me yourself. Jeez.
Yeah, why'd you leave it to chance?
Right? Like, I'm gonna leave it to these 2 space zombies.
Like, they'll be fine.
They'll work it out, yeah. Like, well, Saren, you're guilty of bad planning, at least. Oh, gosh, I'm so sick of these loading screens. All right, here we go. Get ready for more
We're
dialogue.
live.
Dr. Chakwas.
You get to do this dialogue.
Okay.
You had us worried there, Shep. How are you feeling?
How did I end up here? How long was I out?
Bobadil, no.
About 15 hours. Something happened down there with the beacon, I think.
It's my fault. I must have triggered some kind of security field when I approached.
Shut up,
Push me
Caden.
out of the way.
Ugh, look at that angular jaw, though.
Where's the beacon now? What happened to it?
The beacon exploded. A system overload, maybe. And the blast knocked you cold. Williams and I had to carry you back here to the chef.
I appreciate it.
Physically, you're fine. But I detected some unusual brain activity.
So by physically, you mean I'm
Abnormal
not
baby
fine, then. Brain activity's physical,
Yeah.
homie.
rapid eye movement.
Thank
Signs
Dr.
typically
Clark
associated
was, or
with intense
Chalk was. The resolution on this monitor's not so great.
There you go.
I saw... I'm not sure what I saw.
Death!
Destruction. Nothing's really clear.
It's like, I feel bad because I know we're like sitting at the beginning of this big epic story, and I know I should care, but I'm just like,
Just haven't yet.
oh gosh, every time this
Federal
starts
Command is going
happening.
to be fine.
Glad to hear it. Shepard, I need to speak with you. In private.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Have you seen
I'll be in a
Alien?
mess
Have you ever
if you
watched the movie Alien?
No.
Oh man, we should really watch that at some point.
Sounds like that beacon hit you pretty hard.
That needs to be like a friend movie
Sure
night.
you're okay?
Yeah.
Is watching Alien and Alien 1 and Alien 2. Or no, it's Alien, Aliens, and Alien 3.
Intel
Oh
dropped
my
the
gosh.
bomb.
Oh, dude,
We
I
had
forgot
no
to talk to
idea
you
what
about
we were
this.
walking
Oh,
into
yeah?
down there.
I started
That's what
watching
gives me
this
intel.
Netflix show
Forget
called
having
like
been
Another
outside the
Life,
veil
I
in 2
think.
centuries, Commander.
Oh, I think I've seen
Nobody could have
commercials
It
about it.
is so bad.
Oh. 'Cause it was
Oh.
like, it's sci-fi, right?
It
It's set in
is.
space.
It's terrible.
Yeah, I think we saw like a commercial for it on Netflix because Zach was just like, oh, this is Caitlin's jam.
No, Caitlin, it's
Stay
so
away.
bad. Like, okay, so my favorite part about it is, and like, I think that this trope came
You said you wanted to see
from
me in private,
Alien, where
I
like
won't lie to you, Shepard.
at the end of Alien, Sigourney Weaver, and I think at the beginning too, she's like going in and out of cryo sleep. So like at the beginning, she's coming out of cryo sleep, and she's wearing like no bra, see-through tank top, tiny white panties, right? Just like as scantily clad as she can be. And at the end of the movie, she like changes back into that, and then gets attacked by an alien, and is having to like fight off an alien in like no clothes.
Okay.
Which, okay, but like
Legend.
in the context of the movie, that was done for a reason, because like the alien itself, like the imagery of it is like very like sexual and like kind of rapey.
Okay.
So like her being in a very vulnerable state when she's having this final
Gotcha,
fight with this
yeah.
like very like invasive and breeding alien, it like
Yeah.
makes sense.
Saren has allied himself with
But they just did that in this show, where it's like the main character wakes up from
that beacon.
Soma or whatever they
You
call
were
it,
there
I
just
think,
before that beacon
and she's just
self-destructed.
like, yeah,
see
sports
anything?
bra, tiny
Anything
little
like tell us
like
what Saren
jogging
was after?
shorts, like right volleyball shorts. And that's just like the standard dress that all the women who wake up from cryo sleep wear. And there's a scene where the whole crew, and like at first she's just like walking around the ship, you know, in like her sports bra and running pants. And I'm like, well, okay, I guess it's like showing that she's like alone to the point where like she's out here in the middle of nothing, but who's here to look at her? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like being naked in the middle of a desert, right? There's like nothing here for anyone to look at you. So it's like, okay, but then there's a scene where the whole crew wakes up and all the guys are wearing like pajama bottoms and t-shirts and robes, and all the girls are just like, we just wear sports bras and nothing else.
No
and I'm
clothes.
like, but what is, okay, all right.
Yeah, it's like, oh, this is just Big Brother.
Yeah, and it just stays that way for like way too long. And then at one point, like, there's this character that like makes something about like, oh, what do you guys all have like a uniform you wear? And they're like, we haven't worn uniforms on spaceships in years. So obviously, like, all the women wear like these like really like diving neckline shirts, and all the guys just like wear normal clothes. And I'm like,
some way to take him down.
why do you dress like this? There's like this one, I can't remember what her name is, but she's like the mechanic of the ship, and she just like does not dress like a mechanic.
Oh.
And it's not like, you know, in Firefly, like, what's her name? She wears like a jumpsuit and sometimes has it like untied, but sometimes she's actually wearing a jumpsuit. And this is just like, no, I just wear like a cut up t-shirt all the time. Like, okay, so already this is bad. And then it's like,
we should be getting close.
this isn't in the future to the point where space is like there's random people out in space, you know? It's like they're astronauts, highly trained astronauts.
Okay. How far in the future is it supposed to be?
Like near future, so
Okay.
there's
Like 100 years or so.
there's not lasers, but they have spaceships that can fly around in space, presumably at any speed, which we'll get to that in a second.
They don't get clear about the FTL capabilities.
Oh, they do, and that they just say, we have FTL drive, and sometimes it breaks. Let me put it this way. At one point, they're flying to another planet, and they make the point that they might stop and turn around and go back.
What?
And I'm like, oh, you're just gonna stop going light speed? Like, just, we can just turn around
the
in
brakes.
space, just do a Yui. Like, okay, all right, so there's just no science in this, whatever. Oh gosh, what was this? Okay, yeah, so they're all like 27 and under, to the point where they like make fun of their one crew member that's 30. They all
So
are either
old.
hate each other or are trying to sleep with each other, because they're like all single and all horny all the time, and they all are just constantly fighting.
Okay.
And I'm like, in all the world of people, you would think on this one very critical mission, they would maybe do some screening to be like, hey, these two people have a history and hate each other.
Right.
Let's put them in the in captain and second in command. They hate each other.
Right.
They don't get along. And I'm like, why?
Yeah.
And they're like, and the other person, this person's wife. Like, why would you even bring spouses? Like, do you know who's most likely to murder another person? Yeah, that person's spouse.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, we should continue this conversation because I want to hear more about this terrible show, but I think we have to wrap up for now. So until next time. Hey Wanderers, thanks for listening to the Wandering Gamer Network plays Mass Effect. We hope you enjoyed it. If you would like to hear more content from the Wandering Gamer Network, check out the link in the description. We have several actual play podcasts including D&D 5th Edition, City of Mist, and many more. Until next time, keep wandering.